So, my bad, that was not the end of Chapter 10. Here comes the end of Chapter 10 of The Mummy, the Will, and the Crypt by John Bellairs. One cold, dark day in early November, Johnny came home from school to find nobody was there. Under the sugar bowl on the dining room table was a note, and it said, "Dear Johnny, have gone to take your grandmother to the hospital. Nothing to worry about, just a checkup. We'll be back by dinner time. Grandpa." As he read this, Johnny felt his blood run cold. If he had been in a more reasonable frame of mind, he would have known that there was nothing strange about Grandma's going back to the hospital for a checkup. But now he was convinced that Grandma was dying. What on earth could he do? Johnny sat very still on one of the dining room chairs. Some people yell and scream when they are upset, but Johnny always got very quiet, cold, and withdrawn. He stared at the picture of the Last Supper that hung over the sideboard, but the picture was just a blur to him. Instead he saw Mount Chicora and the crumbling stone arch that said Staunton Herald. He saw a train chugging northward up into the White Mountains, and now, slowly as the sessions clock ticked on the sideboard, a plan began to form in Johnny's fevered brain. He would go up to New Hampshire, to the estate called Staunton Herald. He would get a room at the hotel that the fussy old lady ran. What was its name? Oh, well, it didn't matter. He had some stationery with the hotel's name and phone number on it. It had been passed out to the scouts so they could write letters home. Then he'd go to the estate, and somehow, by hook or by crook, he would find the lost Glomus will, claim the reward, and use the money to get a brain surgeon for Grandma. This was a crazy plan, and in one corner of his brain Johnny knew it. It was also dangerous, but strangely enough the danger attracted him, even though Johnny was timid, the kind of kid who always looked six ways before crossing the street. Every now and then he got the urge to do wild, untimid things. He was always longing to break free from his nervous, scaredy-cat side. All right, then, he would go. He wouldn't tell the professor, and he wouldn't tell Fergie either. Johnny wanted this to be his triumph, his alone. Okay, let's get organized. What did he need? The quiet, reasonable sessions clock ticked on. The shadows in the dining room grew longer. Johnny sat like somebody who was under a spell. His eyes shone and his mind was racing like a runaway steam engine, churning out a plan, a wonderful, improbable plan. And that is really the end of Chapter 9.